Hi everyone, I'm Zach Reinhardt, and I'm here with another EP wrap-up video for the months of May and June 2016. I was going to review the new Never Young Beach album, but I fucked up my order on Amazon and had it like accidentally bundled with another album that didn't come out for another month. So they were like holding it, and I just screwed up everything. So the new Never Young Beach album will be next week, so be hyped for that. But this week, right now, we've got some EPs that have come out over the past like month and a half, and they're pretty good. So starting off, we got the new Dayglo EP. Don't know where it is. Dayglo is a indie rock and indie pop band from Tokyo. And if you've heard of Waikiki Beat and heard their album that was everywhere last summer, then you know three of the four members of Dayglo. The kind of main difference between Waikiki Beat and Dayglo is like where Waikiki Beat is really kind of dreamy and reverby, and their songs are kind of just a lot softer in general. Dayglo is a lot more direct and a lot. There's a lot more of a punk influence in Dayglo's music, though not a real heavy one. They aren't a punk band. And this is, according to Dayglo, their first EP because, this guy didn't happen. So, getting into the tracks, there's six songs, and they're all very succinctly written, tightly packaged, very direct, upbeat, guitar-driven pop songs. Songwriting-wise, these tracks are kind of the same stuff that Dayglo and Waikiki Beat have been doing for a while. There are new versions of the songs I'm Waiting for You and Let's Get Into Your Car, because I guess those songs need to be released several times. They are newly recorded versions of these songs, and they're slight improvements, I'd say, overall. But, it's still just the same song. And there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, if they're kind of starting over and saying, like, this is our first EP, this is where our discography starts. And I guess that's okay, but I mean, Let's Get Into Your Car is approaching 2 years old at this point. Yeah, these songs share a lot in common with the stuff like the Killers were doing, and I also hear like a Strokes influence a bit. There's also like a pop punk influence, but a light one. Like I wouldn't say these guys are kind of edging on Blink 182 territory at all, but there is a little bit of that pop punk sound kind of floating in here. There's a little acoustic ballad at the end. It's a little more lo-fi. But yeah, overall, these are just kind of solid, upbeat pop tracks. Nothing really to complain about, but they aren't really doing anything super special either. They're just, a solid band like they always have been. Next up, we've got the new Kiwi EP, The Scene of Ordinary. Kiwi is a indie pop duo with a producer and a singer. The vocals are female and they're soft and kind of cutesy, but not like full-on Dempa territory. And the production is very diverse, it's very well layered, and it uses a lot of very classical instrumentation. A lot of strings, a lot of brass, there's harpsichord on this album, there's all sorts of little instruments like glockenspiel and bells and stuff that kind of accent the tracks. This thing kicks off with the song An Ordinary Waltz, which actually is kind of an ordinary waltz. It's very kind of classical in its sound and in its instrumentation, but then it has these kind of driving electronic drums and this synth bass line. and very sharp modern production and a very poppy vocal delivery that kind of reminds you that you're listening to a modern pop song. It's very catchy. It's very layered as well, and that's really the kind of main like point of interest for me in Kiwi's music. The production of the tracks is always just really, really spot on, and the instrumentation just has a lot of layers, and there's a lot of detail to the instrumentals here. There's also the song Kiwi no Fururoke, which is like almost Halloweeny. It's got a very kind of spooky melody and a lot of kind of Halloweeny just noises going on in the background, baby piano and stuff like that. And it's once again really well layered. It's really well produced. The vocals are catchy. The melodies are rich, and there's a lot of harmony to everything that's going on. And that's kind of the through line for the whole EP. There is a little instrumental track here, but these tracks are just really catchy, really well written, really well produced pop songs. Check it out if you're into that and you don't mind kind of the Japanese cutesy voice. I will admit it was an acquired taste at first, but yeah, it's good stuff. Kiwi's been doing this for a while. They've got a lot of releases on their Bandcamp, so if this sounds up your alley, definitely check them out. And then finally, we've got Nakasako Hideo with the Atom EP. This is a 3-track EP of kind of chilled out, bassy beat music. It's all instrumental, with the exception of like vocal samples, which I don't really count as a vocal part. And yeah, it's just really chilled out beat music. It's, I guess, EDM. It is definitely danceable. I could work this stuff into like a club mix if I needed to, but it's also very spacey and very textured and kind of relaxing. Genre-wise, this thing kind of straddles the line between like Chicago deep house and early dubstep and bass music, leaning a little bit more on the deep house side, but there's definitely some kind of like bass music, UK dubstep influence here. There's also definitely some influence drawn from like contemporary R&B and hip hop, but they're kind of secondary. But the tracks here are all very smooth. They're all very well textured and easily danceable. I'm really liking what I'm hearing here. There's a lot of kind of detail to the texture. The kind of one song that has the traditional like build into a drop has a really kind of chilled out, just really low bassy drop that isn't like this kind of aggressive, crazy thing. It's just, it's just really solid. And there's not really much to complain about. I mean, I guess the third track doesn't really have as much intrigue in it as the other tracks. It's just a little more mediocre. But overall, this thing's pretty good. I'm looking forward to hearing more from all of these artists. And that's it for the EPs. I'm now going to talk about the channel a little bit and talk about a few things. So if you're not interested in that, feel free to leave. That's totally cool. But I just want to say, thanks a ton. We just hit 50 subscribers not too long ago, I think like a week or two ago, and we're already like 57 as of me checking before making this video. And it's just so cool, like I made this channel, I wasn't really expecting anything, and it's growing. It's not even been a year, and we're already approaching 60 subscribers. So yeah, totally hype about that. I have no plans on slowing down video production or stopping at any point in the foreseeable future. And it's just really cool to like see the response in the comments. Especially the comments have been really cool. It's been like people recommending me music, and I recommend them music back. When I say I'm not familiar with something, people like just hop on that and they're like, hey, check this out. Like this happened with the Food Man review I did the other week. I said this was the first Food Man album I'd sat down and listened to, and people were like, you got to check out this Food Man album. And I was like, all right. And I ordered it, and it actually came in the mail just the other day. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm sorry. But it's sitting in my car, and I will be listening to it. I picked it up on cassette because, you know, I'm cool, and I listen to cassettes, and I hate myself. And yeah, just overall, it's been a joy to run this channel. I love making these videos. I love listening to Japanese music. I always have. And it's great to have kind of an outlet for this like strange obsession that I've had since I was a kid. But yeah, totally am overjoyed about the channel. Love how it's going, and I love all you guys. You guys are great, and you keep me wanting to do this. So keep up the good work. The response has been overwhelmingly positive as of yet, and just loving doing what I'm doing. I'll tell you what. I'll put a comment down in the comments of this video, and just reply to that. We'll start a little thread, and we'll just talk about our favorite Japanese albums, like just straight up recommend an album, and keep it to one. I know it's hard. Believe me, I'm like struggling internally trying to think of what I'm going to recommend. But just drop your favorite Japanese album down at the bottom, and if I don't know it, then great, because now I have something new to listen to. And if I do know it, then great, because now we can talk about it. So yeah, totally drop it down. I reply to every comment on my videos, because, you know, I only get like 1 or 2 comments on a video. So yeah, let's discuss a little bit in celebration of 50 subscribers, I guess. And then B, the second thing I wanted to talk about, Harsh Noise Movement Records has a new compilation album that's like 4 hours long of improvised noise music and ambient stuff and industrial dark ambient. And a good friend of mine and I did a track for that compilation, and it's on there. We're track 8. I'll put a little link in the description. And yeah, just a shameless self-plug, and also plug of all the other artists on this compilation. It's really some good stuff. And if you're familiar with the Incapacitants or Hijo Kaidan, Toshiji Mikawa from both of those groups did a track for this. And it's just kind of mind-blowing to think that I'm on an album with him, but I am, and it's totally fucking hype. So yeah, check that out, link in the description. And once again, just thanks for all your support, and the response has been great for this channel. And I typically don't talk about channel stuff in videos just because I'm trying to like package up a nice review for you and then just put it out there, because you're not here for me, you're here for the music, and that's the correct thing. Like, that's how it should be. But I made a little exception today, and this won't be a regular thing unless we hit another big milestone, but I felt like I needed to address it. So yeah, keep up the good work, boys, and I will too. Peace.